think I'm killing it again verbatim, but that is the case. It could definitely, being fatigued is a scary feeling, and having someone in front of you who's not, wow.
Yep. For our official introductions, let's go in the ring to Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, our final bout on our prelim card is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division and is presented to you by Head Rush. Let's meet our fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds. He holds a professional record of 8 wins, 6 losses, and he fights out of Denver, Colorado, Austin Osmosis Jones. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, weighing in at 170.5 pounds. He holds a professional record of 8 wins, 5 losses, and he fights out of Inman, South Carolina, Tanner the Hammer Saraceno.
Getting ready to start the final fight of our prelims. This is a welterweight competition. That means 170 pounds, 77 kilos. Here we go, Tanner Saraceno and Austin Jones.
Oh, you know what?
Interesting exchange there.
Very interesting. Austin, threw a straight right hand and stepped behind it. Well, basically, like he was looking for a shot. Still is. You can see his intentions on his body. There, he's reaching down.
I think he caught Tanner a little bit off guard with that strike before he came in for the shot, right?
Yeah, the only shot, Tanner threw a good mid-level roundhouse to the body. I wonder if it caused more damage than we're realizing, because to see Austin driving forward, not taking advantage of the outside wheels that he has in past fights, it's interesting. Nice head, nice clinch there, almost like a head pinch. Bad response for Austin to do that.
Wow, great takedown.
Yep, you kind of gave it up though. You can't reach around the head and do that. Lack of experience in the wrestling aspect of the sport there for Austin. It allowed an easy pull down there. Used the body lock or the head pinch to pull down Jones.
Big knee right there, missed.
Threw him off balance. He actually threw such a hard knee.
Fighters back to the center of the cage. 1 minute and 15 into this first round. 3 5-minute rounds are what we have scheduled.
See if maybe that was just a lot of nervous energy on Austin Jones' part to want to get to the ground so quickly.
Tanner talked about outstriking him, but he's really using his wrestling here in this first round.
And guys say that, and I get it. And I 100% believe that when Tanner was in the back, his mindset was to keep this fight on its feet. But when you do certain things a certain way, it's hard not to fall back on those. And you see now, good takedown attempt. He's got the ankle. Oh, missed the grip. And now he's driving forward. So Tanner's natural instincts to do what has led him to success in the past take over. It's hard sometimes to change the color. Wow, nice. Sat down almost like a back take.
I'll tell you what, for the guy that talked about standing up, his wrestling is pretty technical.
It was. That was a nice little sit down and turn the back.
It
almost like an arm drag.
It didn't work out for him, but the attempt.
Yeah, no, it was a slick movement. He just didn't lock it up at the very last second. Ended up going pushed to his guard.
Once again, 3 5-minute rounds are scheduled. Eric Apple hanging out with Frank Mir, the former heavyweight champion of the world. We are halfway through this first of 3 rounds with Austin Jones and Tanner Saraceno.
Yeah, failed Kimura attempt, and Austin rushing that mount. Stepped over and stepped basically into a butterfly guard now. Butterfly half guard. And now Tanner's using that to create a wedge and push up. And even though Austin's got the head, you can see how much of the neck is available. It'd be extremely difficult to finish this choke.
Yeah, interesting position. And he looks like he was almost looking for a foot lock.
Nice reap. Foot lock attempt. Oh, inside heel hook.
I'll tell you what, Tanner's dangerous.
He is. He's got transitions here. Now he's keeping that butterfly hook in, pushing through to go again for another sweep. See if he comes out the back door.
Yep.
And now back almost to a 50-50.
Oh, this could be trouble. This could be trouble.
Austin now changing the angle of the heel hook.
Man, with 90 seconds to go here in this first round, Tanner has shown very well-rounded skills.
Yeah, now he needs to dump the footlock position here. There, that was smart of him. Staying there in a with strikes are allowed, that grappling position is not solid.
Sure. Yeah, that's a trade-off, right? If you're looking and fishing for that footlock, your hands are too busy to block any strikes at your head.
Yeah, there are just some footlocks. I mean, I love the footlock game. I myself have many victories that way, professional fighter. But some of the positions leave you open to get hurt. Here, great heel hook attempt. He just needs to use it to get on top. If I was Tanner's corner, I'd be screaming to use his top position.
Woo! And what an exchange.
Those are very oxygen-inducive.
Tanner looks worn out.
Yeah, grappling hard takes energy.
That's that anaerobic energy you're using.
It is. Hey, I tell people, there's a reason why wrestling matches are 6 or 7 minutes long. Grappling matches, without stall calls are like 10 minutes long. You can have a 36-minute box. Oh, nice one.
That might be it for Tanner. It's going to be hard for him to recover. He got dropped there. He legitimately got dropped.
Rolled for the knee bar to pull back in. Now he's working guard. He could have an upside-down inverted triangle if he scoots that leg forward.
Man, what?
He is. He's got the inverted triangle.
Man, what? He's got some great natural moves there. I mean, unbelievable after getting dropped and immediately go over that triangle.
That just shows how much he trains that area.
Wow.
That even on autopilot, it was there for him.
Unbelievable. That was a tough round for Tanner. I mean, he showed a lot of offense, fishing for a lot of things. But man, what impressed me most was how he got dropped and his instincts took him straight to that submission.
He got dropped, and then he didn't give up his back from turtle position. He did a front roll, looking for maybe a knee bar, but got into the half guard position.
And if you're Tanner's coach, you know he's in trouble. He was tired and he got dropped. What's going on in that corner?
Yeah, you're gonna tell him, hey, relax, breathe, you're good, you're still here. When you first start off, nothing desperate, keep the distance. Your opponent probably is gonna keep the distance, keep the jab out there, and then if he comes in close, let's get the clinch before we get the takedown. You don't want to just dive in on someone's legs while you're tired. There was almost like a pinch headlock type takedown from Tanner. Austin did a good job of able to defend and get back up. Here's that right hook over the top, dropped him. Tried to take a shot. Instead of staying here in the referee position or turtle position, he rolls across his right shoulder, didn't get a leg, and here from side control was able to throw the legs over the top and get that inverted triangle.
Good exchange there to start off the second round. And I'll tell you what, Tanner, he trained here in South Carolina. He has a disadvantage to his opponent who's training up at altitude. And that might be the difference.
Well, it's interesting that Austin, even though his best success in the fight was that right hand he landed, and he's been on defense when it comes to the grappling aspect. Tanner's been putting all the offensive maneuvers together, and Austin's just pretty much been defending them. But he still opted for the takedown. He's the one that engaged his clinch.
Tanner now getting the back of Austin, and Tanner been initiating a lot of these wrestling exchanges, but I feel like he's the one who's spending more gas and losing more energy on this.
Yeah, sometimes offensive wrestling, when you're on the offense, it takes energy.
Oh, look at this. Somewhat of a belly-to-back suplex. He elevated him a little bit.
Yeah. It's just a little sloppy putting in the hooks, trying to attempt to choke even without having them, and that allowed Austin to be able to escape, get back up to the cage right now.
The problem I see is Tanner's breathing hard. You look at his stomach, his belly is moving with his breathing, and that's indicative of someone who's really breathing hard.
Yep.
I mean,
had a guillotine attempt there for Austin.
This might be tough because Tanner's pretty tired, but he gets his head out. Now, if he can control him on his back here, he can recover, and he can control this round in the eyes of the judges, and this could be a great thing for him.
100% agree with you, and that's what I'd be calling right now. Step over the leg. Let's get into half guard position. Not full side control. I would prefer half guard so that way my opponent's easier to hold him down. Harder to come up on a single. Right now, see, what Tanner's doing with his arm, having the hand in between like a Navy ride type of movement, he could have been doing that with his leg. And now instead, Austin's able to get back up to his knees and attempt offense.
Now this is when you hear coaches talk about position over submission. That was the example where you needed it, right?
100%. Right now, Tanner should have looked to break him down, get into a top position so he can catch his breath, cause some damage, and look for where this next position was going to be. Now he's just on Austin's back, looking to get another takedown, pull him down, but he's not as of an offensive position as he was earlier. And here, not as easy to rest. When you're bent over over like that on someone's legs, you can't take a deep breath.
Hard to breathe when you're not standing up,
yeah,
right?
Hard to breathe when you're bent over at the waist.
Just like, how does GSP explain it? If you take a straw and you bend it in half, nothing gets through. And, you know, and I'm just surprised this could be. We're 7.5 minutes in this fight, and the one still pushing wrestling is Tanner.
Yeah, well, he's had a lot of success. Oh, pulled himself into a crucifix position. Austin has a crucifix if he can go palm to palm. There's a choke here.
Wow.
He missed it. Tanner was able to get reverse on top. He needs to slow down and really
there he goes. He's got the hooks in, and that might be the best thing that's happened to him all fight long.
100%. As long as he doesn't lose it. He's a little high right now, but at least he's under the arms. If he reaches over the arms and stays high, he might get reversed.
I'll tell you what, he's got 1 minute and 45 seconds, Frank, and if he can keep these hooks in, it might be the best thing that he can hope for.
Yeah, he needs to flatten out Austin Jones by driving his hips forward. Austin needs to keep up and swim his legs out like he's attempting to do right there. He's making the right attempt. Broke back down. There, nice power half. I 100%, oh, he missed it there. But that was a great job on Tanner to lock up the power half. Keeps you on the back, locks the shoulder, and puts downward pressure on your opponent's head.
And we saw Tanner throw a mixed elbow in there as well. And is this what we look like when we hear coaches talk about the backpack position?
Yes.
Is this where you would want to see that position?
Yeah, and I actually, right now he's got the seatbelt, which could lead into a head and arm choke if he can get his left leg out. He's turning, he's turning, he's turning. He needs to control that downward wrist now, and Austin needs to realize that that wrist is vulnerable and try to get it out of there.
So 1 minute to go, and Tanner's really, I mean, I'm surprised after how much damage he took in that first round. He controlled his entire second round of wrestling. Look at the ankle pick there.
Yeah, interesting. Both guys fighting, you know, hey, when you have a hard fight, I don't care how good a shape you're in, the other guy's in shape too. Similar crucifix position here for Austin.
Yeah, it didn't work before. Will it work this time? No, once again. Oh, is he going to be able to follow him?
It's going to be hard for him to slide that hook in. Tanner needs to pull his right arm across and shake him off.
And he should
there
end up on top and side mount.
He just got to beat the knee now. He did.
Just over 10 seconds to go here, and he's got a full mount.
Yep, great way, exclamation mark, to stamp the end of a round. If he can get his head up and just flail down some punches, it'll really give him the victory for this round, which he probably, I know he out-grappled and did a lot of great things that first round, but the referee, you know, the judges saw that big shot. So really, I think this fight's going into a one-on-one situation.
I agree 100%. Again, we are not judges. Don't anybody mistake us for that. But in our professional opinion, it's a one-to-one on the rounds. And I'll tell you what, I am so impressed by Tanner's, number one, his cardio we talked about, because he looked tired in the first round, but he was able to gut through it here in the second.
I agree with you. He was breathing. When you say he was breathing hard, I'm like, I'm not going to argue the fact.
He was breathing real hard, but he gutted through that performance in the second round, and he pushed takedowns the whole time, like we talked about. That's that anaerobic activity that really drains you, and he's the one pushing for all the wrestling.
Yeah, that was a lot of hard. Just, you know what? There is a mental aspect to it. I mean, it's not completely. I know, like with some coaches, like, oh, just push through. I'm like, well, the body does have its limitations. You got to be in shape. But there, it showed that a guy in shape who's determined can push through some adversity.
All right, third and final round. 5 more minutes for these two. We do believe that we are at 1 round each, so this is the round that matters. Who wants it more, Frank Mir? Tanner just plotting forward like a true soldier, just marching forward. He doesn't care how tired he is. He wants to get that win. Austin Jones, he looks a little bit weird, and look at his eyes.
Well, you know, he's attempted to go for takedowns, so I don't know if his game plan was to be on top in this fight, and it hasn't really paid off. So this is why, yes, throwing. If I was Austin, I would keep distance, throw strikes.
The problem is after those takedowns, Tanner, you know, if he doesn't get the takedown, he's really vulnerable there.
He is. But Austin's really not taking advantage of it either.
True. Sometimes you might be vulnerable, but if your opponent isn't fresh enough to take advantage of it, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can open the door, but the other guy don't run through it, you're good.
Are we going to see a takedown here?
He just needs to reach across for that other ankle. Tanner does. Austin needs to just get his hips down and spread his legs. Right now, he's in prime real estate range just to have Tanner connect his hands. Now, I don't know, he's trying to do like a peek out from his feet. He's got a nice underhook there, but he's pulling over for a switch.
Yep.
But Tanner's head's on the wrong side for him to really get a switch, but as I
Great.
said it, he pulled it off.
Great wrestling, and that's one of the oldest tricks in the book as far as wrestling. Explain that switch.
Well, a switch is when you reach over the hip, use that to block your guy's shoulder, and then you turn the corner and essentially take his back. But usually the head's on the other side. He was able to do that even though Tanner's head was there, and now he's locking up a Kimura of himself, which this is risky because you're connecting yourself to your opponent. Tanner could make, even if he connects between the legs, could have a really high elevation throw.
Yeah. He could get a belly to back, or he could even use that trip right there. Man, just back and forth wrestling. These guys are really taking down each other.
Yeah, this is a hard way to fight.
And this might not be the most entertaining for the fighters, but I promise you, this is the most draining type of action you can imagine.
No, this is the hardest way to fight. A grinding grappling match. And where both guys are grappling. You saw right there, Tanner, or Austin blocked the shot from Tanner, broke off, but his defense was to turn right back around and go in for a shot, which actually paid off for him.
So Tanner now stuck on his back with his butt on the ground. He was able to kick the cage, now has been pulled out. Still, though, keeps his opponent within his guard.
He's switching him for that arm bar. It doesn't seem like Austin sees it. He's just dropping his head.
And Tanner's a very long fighter, so you can see that arm bar triangle being dangerous.
Oh, and it's still there. Austin's he's got his underhook buried deep. If he picks that head up or gets it moved at all, he's going to get arm barred.
There we go.
Yep. Oh, he pulled his arm out. Now he's going to convert over for a triangle.
Yep.
Nice guard pass off the triangle defensive for Austin Jones. Then this is a perfect spot to be in. You're on top. I call this like a leg drag position where you're splitting the legs. It's no offense from the bottom is really available to you. The only thing you can do is try to get back to your knees, and that's what Tanner did. But you're taking shots the whole time.
1 minute, 40 seconds to go here in the third and final round of our final fight of the prelims.
Yeah, honestly, this last 2 minutes of this round, minute and a half, he's going to decide who the winner of the fight is. Man, Austin, we're talking
over as
Tanner
well.
gutting it out. Austin's gutting it out. This has been a hard-paced match.
Back and forth action. Very well matched up fighters. Very evenly matched up.
Yeah, and right now I love where Austin is. I agree with this. He's not passing the guard. He's staying above the knee in half guard, and Tanner's doing the right thing. He's pulling his knee out. If you can stay above the knee in side control in the half guard, basically, easier to hold someone down and rain down punches. If we're purely grappling, not so much. But if we're doing MMA grappling, great position.
Of course. Yeah, the half guard position has always been known as being one of the most powerful and easiest to control. And with just over 30 seconds to go, I don't know if Tanner's going to have enough time to do
in fact,
anything.
he might get stuck in a choke here.
He might have a head arm
Austin,
choke.
yes, he does. He has it. He just needs to get his chest to the mat.
And it doesn't like Tanner's defending him much with his other hand.
No, he's not. But Austin doesn't quite have it cinched up.
Is Tanner going to go to sleep, or is he going to use his other hand to defend it? We have.
Yep.
Man. There we go. And that was as much him being worn out from the fight.
I agree with you. Yep. That was like 80% choke, 20% fatigue.
Let's throw it into the ring for our official particulars from Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee calls a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 48 seconds of the third and final round. Declaring your winner by submission via arm triangle, Austin Osmosis Jones.
There we go.
Here the winner, guys, Austin Jones. Hey, leading up to that fight, I think a lot of us were predicting you in a stand-up fight, backing up, using your distance. You're really slick, technical there. But you're the one who really made that a grappling match as much as he did.
Yeah, man, people sleep on my grappling. Hey, Tyler Ray, what do you think about that head and arm? I know you got me last time, but hey, I could do it too.
Yeah, beautiful grappling there, defensive in the position. How much of that last round did you realize, hey, that was a close fight? We had you in the commentary booth. First round, you had the knockdown. Second round, it looked like you were down to go into that third round even. How much did you know that you needed to finish?
Man, I thought I lost both rounds. I didn't fight the way I wanted to fight, so I knew third round, I got to kick it in. Halfway through the round, I was like, I got my second win, pimp, and I was like, let's go.
Hey, man, your winner, Austin Jones.